What's up guys, FrenchFit here, back with another video, and I have a question for you. Do you like brownies? I like brownies. They're yummy, chocolatey, and delicious, but there's only a couple problems. They're usually super high in calories, sugar, and fat. Sure, it's fine if you only have one, but who stops there? You tell yourself one more, and before you know it, boom! 1,000 calories of chocolatey goodness shoved down your pie hole. Well, I'm here to fix that today with an alternative recipe that is much more healthy, higher in protein, higher in fiber, and a lot lower in sugar. So these are actually going to be black bean brownies. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, so here are the ingredients you'll need for these healthy black bean brownies. So obviously, black beans, very essential ingredient here. Vanilla extract, some salt, some chocolate chips of your choice. You can have sugar-free or whatever you want. These are just the ones that were open in my pantry. Splenda, stevia, or something to sweeten it with. You can also swap this out for honey or like maple syrup, but Splenda is just going to help keep the calorie count down. 3 large eggs. A little bit of baking powder, a little bit of cacao powder, I think that's how you say it, and then some extra virgin olive oil. Now this can also be swapped out for either melted butter or unsweetened applesauce. If you want to really keep the calorie count as low as possible, I would go with the applesauce, but for this recipe right now I'm just going to use the olive oil. So let's get into the amounts. Alright guys, so you're going to use 1 can of black beans or 3.5 servings. So one thing you want to do is make sure you drain them and strain them, because there's going to be a lot of juice in here. I actually did not, I drained the juice out the first time, but then I didn't wash them off, so that probably didn't help the flavor. But make sure you want to wash out your beans, like so. So 1 can of black beans. Okay, and once you have your beans washed off, all the ingredients are going to go into either a blender or a food processor, because obviously you can't just mash up beans with a spoon good enough. So pour everything in the blender. Next is 3 large eggs. So we're just going to go ahead and crack these. Got a little bit of shell in there. Oh well, extra protein. Making a mess as well. Alright, and that's done. Alright, next we're going to add our sweetener of choice. For me it's Splenda. You could also use honey or maple syrup, as I stated earlier. We're going to do about a 1/2 cup. The recipe actually calls for a 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to get a couple tablespoons in here. I just use measuring cups and spoons for this. And that is also done. Alright, next guys, we're going to add our olive oil, 1/3 of a cup. So I'm just using another measuring cup here. Measure it out. And boom! Also, try to put stuff away as you use it so that your mom won't have to clean it up, or whoever you're living with. Help make them have one less thing to do. So, oh, we're going? Okay. So now we're going to add the cacao or cocoa. I really don't know how it's pronounced. I just say cacao because it sounds more fancy. We're going to add 4 tablespoons of cacao. So this could be difficult. Looks like 1. If you were a smart man, you would not try to spill it all over your arms, but it happens. Okay, on to the next one. Stop. Next we're going to add our salt. Just have some kosher salt here. About 1/8 of a teaspoon. You could also probably just put in a pinch. I guess that's what they would call a pinch, so I don't know how to do this. There we go, looks about good. And then we are going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of our baking powder. And this is really going to help it rise due to the fact that it has no flour, so this is kind of really an essential ingredient. So a couple of these in there. There we go. Alright, and lastly, what we're going to add here is our imitation vanilla or vanilla extract. We're going to do 2 teaspoons. So that was a big teaspoon. That's better. Okay, now we're going to leave the chocolate chips out for now because we're going to blend this up, get everything all smooth, and then we'll just sprinkle the chocolate chips on top once we get them in the pan. So let's blend it up. Okay guys, so it's blended up pretty smooth. You want to make sure that there's no chunks. It should be a pretty smooth consistently like this. Obviously if there's whole beans in there you need to blend it more. But now we are going to, I probably should have preheated this earlier, but we're going to preheat the oven to, or just turn our oven to 350, and then we're going to probably spray the pan with some non-stick spray and put these babies in there, and then we'll have the chocolate chips. Alright, so sprayed it down with a little bit of this cooking spray so it doesn't stick to the pan. And then you usually don't need a huge pan for this recipe. I probably could have gotten away with even a smaller one. But if you want to make it into a bigger pan, you could always double the amounts, have a bigger, just double the recipe amounts. So we're going to get this in here. Looks like these are going to be pretty thin brownies, and then we'll have the chocolate chips. Okay, we're going. Okay, so now once you get it in the pan, spread it around. We're going to add about 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. The reason I didn't add these to the blender is because then they get blended up and you can't really taste them as much. So if you can get them out of the bag, it's helpful. Okay, so then we're just going to kind of sprinkle these around like so. I would suggest using a little smaller pan because these are going to be pretty thin brownies, but oh well, should still taste delicious. I think you guys will, if you try this recipe, you'll definitely be amazed because you cannot tell if there's black beans in them at all. It's not like you're just like, oh man, that brownie tastes like bean. Like it's not like that. It tastes pretty damn good. So we are going to pop these in the oven here. 350. Probably take around 20 to 30 minutes. We're just gonna see. So 9:32 starting now, so we'll check back in later. Alright guys, it's been about 20 minutes and I believe these bad boys are done. So take a look at this. Chocolate chips are all melty, chocolatey goodness, but you don't have to feel guilty because they're black bean brownies. So just to make sure that they are done, I like to do the old toothpick test. So take a toothpick and just stick it in, and if nothing like sticks to it, they're pretty much done. So about 20 minutes at 350. Turn the oven off because I almost forgot to do it last time I cooked. So we're gonna cut these up, give them a taste test, and then I'll spit some nutrition facts at you. We let them cool off for a few minutes, and now we are about to cut the brownies. So I'm thinking we're gonna do 8 brownies. I feel like that would be good. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8 brownies right there. Now, let's get into the nutrition facts. Because I didn't cut it good. Alright guys, so we cut the brownies into 8, about that size. They're not completely evenly cut, but did the calculations, and per serving, if you do 8 pieces of brownie, 198 calories, 13 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbs, 6 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber, and only 4 grams of sugar per 1 brownie. Now, the fat is mostly coming from the olive oil and the eggs. Again, if you swap out the olive oil for the applesauce, that will come down a lot, but honestly, 198 calories for a brownie, that's probably, I would say a regular brownie is probably 300 plus. So now the true test. They stayed together pretty well, decent thickness, so we're going to get a bite in here. Honestly, it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's just as good as a regular brownie because obviously it doesn't have as much sugar and as much fat, saturated fat like that, but it is damn good, I think, for it being made out of beans. So I highly recommend that you try this recipe. It's a lot better than it sounds. I don't think it's not too hard to make. The ingredients aren't very like exotic. You can find them all at the store. So give this recipe a try. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Going to be coming at you with a couple more recipe videos in the near future, hopefully. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you for watching. French Fit out. Another thing, guys. I just said you don't even notice that the black beans are in there. I actually have proof. I made these before, and I have an aunt who is super picky. Doesn't eat like anything that is good, to me anyway. Like, she hates like onions, mushrooms, all the good stuff. She ate one of these without knowing what was in it and thought it was good. So, I mean, that might not mean much to you, but if you know my Aunt Sharon, that's all the proof you need. So, enjoy.
What are you doing over there, Christian?
Let's get those chocolate chips on, guys. I mean, I wasn't doing anything weird. What? Cut. Okay.